All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be doing some Sims today. Feel free, if you have an idea, to join in and share, because we're going to be cooking up some stuff. I hope everyone acknowledges the disclaimer scrolling at the top of the screen. That's going to be important as we go through. There's no doubt there'll at least be one person, maybe two, out there who see a screenshot or something from the stream and get mad. So that disclaimer is for them. Make sure to acknowledge that. Okay. Yeah, so what we're going to start with first today is Arcane. So been trying out a couple different ideas, trying to improve this. So I'll just kind of talk through what's going on here right now so that you guys can understand. And then even if you don't know how to code, maybe if you have a suggestion, it could be helpful, but I'll just talk you through it right now just so you can get caught up to speed. Okay, so this sim is for Sun Fury, Arcane. And the idea is, we'll just run it real quick so I can show you like more information. The idea is basically play it like right now on the with intuition instead of Aether Vision. That's how the PTR works. We don't have Aether Vision anymore. So basically replace Aether Vision with intuition. And then we're also going to make sure that we don't waste any intuitions. I guess I should add like the baseline profile in here. I've already made some progress, but I've kind of compacted into this one here. Yeah, so we don't want to waste intuition procs unless it makes sense for us to waste them because we want to pool for something else. So basically what's happening here, we go over to the best performing one right now. This is Pool, Touch of the Magi, Sin, Missile, No Clip. So what this one's doing is it's basically doing a normal opener here. And then it is making use of all of its intuition procs, so it's not wasting those. And leading up to Touch of the Magi, right before it goes into Touch of the Magi, if it has Aether Attunement, because I don't want it to waste Aether Attunement, right? You get Aether Attunement with the tier bonus whenever you press Touch of the Magi, so I don't want that to be wasted. So if I have Aether Attunement before Touch of the Magi, I use a missiles even if I have another precision already up. I just use another missile. So it does two things. Number one, it helps pool more harmony stacks for the actual Touch of the Magi. Number two, it gets one more Aether Attunement missile in there because, you know, otherwise we'd just be wasting that Aether Attunement. Yeah, that's the idea. What's up, chat? How's it going? Bruno, what's up? Oh, thanks, Adblock. Appreciate that. Bruno, what's up? Hey, how's Devastation Evoker looking for next season? GG, or wait until next season 3? We have some Evoker stuff. Wrong one. We have some Evoker stuff. It actually looks pretty good. I'll get to the Evoker stuff later. So Devastation, you can go Skill Commander, you can go Flame Shaper. They're both looking pretty good. Skill Commander is, I think, slightly ahead right now, although there could be more optimizations to make Flame Shaper good too. But like, they're both good for Raid, at least. For Mythic Plus, you're not going to want to play Flame Shaper. If you're playing Dev in Mythic Plus, you want to play Skill Commander. 100%. It has less flexibility, Flame Shaper. That's the unfortunate thing. The talents are less flexible, and it's really hard to get the AoE stuff without like giving up too much. So yeah. But Skill Commander is still pretty good. And the tier bonus has actually been fixed now. So it actually gives you Essence Burst whenever it procs, which is kind of big. NKS says, hey buddy, got Mage Main Aug Alt both around 3.3k IO. What do you think is better to main in Season 2? Well, I think Mage will be pretty good in keys, but I think Aug is probably the safer choice if you want to be like irreplaceable. But I mean, like, do you like them the same? Which one do you like playing more? Because if you're going to be playing a lot, you should probably just pick the one you like to play more, right? I know personally, like, I wouldn't play Aug. If I had the choice between Mage or Aug, I wouldn't. Even if it's more stable, even if I like have a higher chance of getting a slot, I would probably still play Mage just because I don't want to play Aug. But that's just me. Okay, yeah. So what was changed in here? And we're going to try a bunch of different ideas. But what was changed in here is I added this line, missiles if we have clear casting and we have Aether 2-min up and Touch of the Magi is less than 3 seconds. And don't interrupt it. So that line can be seen here. And you can see it was referenced 4 times. 4.5 times. So it is doing this. It is using the missiles before Touch of the Magi. Like right before it. So like basically 3 seconds out. If it has Aether 2-min, it sends the missiles. I think I'm going to expand this though, because this ended up being a gain. So we're going to actually expand this to not just if Aether 2-min is up. I think we're also going to do it if we have, let's say 2 stacks of clear casting. So like this one right here, this is clipping the missiles, and it doesn't care if it has Aether 2-min or not. It's just sending as many missiles as possible right before. This one is just doing the Aether 2-min, and it's not clipping the missiles. Okay, so let's do that. Let's change this here. Oh, you know what? We're going to be chilling, kind of like doing sim stuff, so I'm just going to put on some music because we need something to fill the time. No Warlock Cook? What the fuck do you think I am? Who do you think I am? Do I look like Kalamasi to you? Do I look like I live in Florida? What are people thinking as M plus Mage spec? Probably Fire. But you can play Frost too. Frost is good. Honestly, Mythic Arcane might feel pretty good in Mythic plus too. Yeah, the proc of Shattering Star for Dev now does give you Essence Burst. However, it's only the random proc. For some reason. I don't know why. Something about periodic flagging in the way it's coded. Yeah, no idea why. You kind of look like Warlock main. Sorry for assuming your identity. Hold on. Hold on. Stop right there. I have to show you something. Does this look like me? Is there a resemblance here you see? Do I look like I get PI? Oh, thank you. But don't insult him though. He's cute too in his own way. We're just a different kind of cute. Hold on. I have a good photo. Oh, I hope one of these is us together. That'd be so great. Damn, I'm not sure if we actually have a photo together from this event. There's Kalamazi. See, I have a photo of him on his own. But I'm not sure if I have one of us together there. Yeah. Damn, I thought I might have one. Oh well. Dude, there's no way we don't have a photo together. Hold on. I'll look for it later. I'm getting off track. God damn it. Kalamazi's distracting me again. Happens so much, man. He's always on my mind. Okay, so let's see. Let's do something else on here. Let's do, if we have, yeah, if we're able to react to clear casting, and instead of doing Aether Attunement up, let's do clear cast stacks. Yeah, clear cast stacks. Oh, I can just do if it equals 3 actually. I didn't really realize I could do it with the react. That's good. Okay, if buff clear casting react equals 3. And oh, yeah, we're gonna take this part out. We'll say greater than or equal to 2 actually. Let's have it clip the missile though if it's not Aether Attunement. And then let's do another version of this just in case. Oop. Just in case so I don't miss something if it's good. A lot of this for me is just kind of shooting in the dark and seeing what happens if I do that. No clip. There we go, and we'll remove this part. I don't want it to accidentally get wrecked by that. Okay, let's run it. Okay, and while this runs, let's take a look at something else. Oh, I was running some Evoker sims for Flame Shaper. And yeah, so this is the single target set for Flame Shaper that was simming the highest for me, but I think there is some variation here, although it is a little stifled. You have to get Ruby Embers. That's like a required point for Flame Shaper and single target at least. And then you can actually swap out Scorch Embers for Iridescence. It's actually pretty close. Like, if we look at the difference in damage here, look, it's 0.3. 0.3 difference between Iridescence, dropping Font of Magic, dropping Scorching Embers, and then picking up 2 in Honed Aggression. That's only 0.3 behind going this route, which is Power Swell, and then getting Scorching Embers. So pretty close, actually. Okay, so 2 CC is too much. Hold on, let's back it up. Back that ass up. Let's do 3. And then, so the same one with Scale Commander. The gear isn't optimized on these, by the way, so don't pay attention to the damage number. Just focus on the talents that are being chosen here. Something like this. How competitive do you think Dev will be in the raid? For non-top 100 players, currently in between Dev and Boomy. So there, you want the good news or the bad news? Oh wait, that's a gain. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's still better to do the first one I came up with. Fuck. Okay, hold on. I gotta go back to the drawing board here. This idea isn't working. The Aether Attunement part is working good. The rest, not so much. You want both? Okay. Well, I said which one first, but I'll start with the good news first. So, Dev is good. The damage is good. And you actually have like 2 functional specs or 2 functional hero talents for raid, which is good. And it's also pretty good at cleave. And this is like a cleave heavy tier. And it's got some good utility. And yeah, overall it's like pretty solid, pretty tanky. Does good damage, good sustain, good cleave. Good at pretty much everything. The bad news is, Aug is even better. So there it is. So if you're playing Dev, there's always the risk involved of Aug being good. And even if Aug isn't good right now, let's say Aug is average, right? All it takes for Aug to go from average to like spectacular is bad class balance. Not for it though. Not for Augmentation itself. Bad class balance for anyone. Okay? If there's any outlier in the raid, someone just doing like 20% more damage than everyone else. Think of like a Mirror Soul with rogues, right? Rogues just doing infinite damage and BM hunters. If there's a class where the balance is way skewed and they're just doing like way more damage than everyone else, just like a couple of those sprinkled in every raid, then Aug is buffed, basically. Because it gets to multiply damage that's higher. So in turn, it gets more damage from that force multiplication. So class imbalance actually favors Aug a lot. And because it does, there's always the risk of Aug being overpowered last second, because all it takes is like 1 or 2 classes being OP and suddenly Aug is better. So there's always this looming threat of Augmentation overtaking Devastation, even if it is lower. Generally, all it would take is a small change, Blizzard to make 1 misstep, 1 class gets OP, boom, Aug could be beating it out again, right? That's the issue. It doesn't even have to do with the Aug's tuning. Most classes, if they're going to be overpowered or underpowered, just has to do with their own tuning, right? And how their tuning is relative to other classes. But for Aug, it has to do with 2 things. It's their tuning relative to other classes and everyone else's tuning relative to every class. So you can see that there's an order of magnitude difference in these 2, right? Because one can just like literally, as long as it's okay, it can suddenly be good if there's just even like 1 misstep. So it's very risky to play Evoker if you don't want to play Aug. If you're like, I am never playing Aug, I refuse, it's very risky for you. Because you could end up in a situation where the other DPS spec is better and maybe you don't want to play it. So yeah, that's kind of the issue with it. But I will say Dev is like pretty good though. It's good enough to stay on its own. Also, raid spots are, I mean, it's not that open. Like the raid is only 20 people. Like more people have raid buffs now. Shaman has a raid buff now. DK like has a buff now too. Rogue has a buff now. All the other classes that had buffs already have buffs. Evoker already is probably going to be brought for Augmentation or Preservation. So the novelty of your buff is diminished because there's already probably someone providing that. It just gives you like 1 extra spatial, 1 extra time spiral. Maybe you can make use of rescue too. But like overall, the opportunity cost of bringing a Dev could be high because it could be another slot you could bring with like more variety. So that's like the force you're working against as a Dev Evoker. That's what you got to like worry for. You gonna watch the race world first? I usually catch little bits of it. I like to follow it, but I don't watch it nearly as much. If I was casting, I'd be watching it like crazy though, so I could keep up. What's your opinion on Evoker? Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah, I mean, so like Grim, the thing about Aug is that like it's basically like OP by design. Yeah, I mean, listen, I can play Evoker if I want. Like I could raid, I could do progress as Evoker, but the problem is like, as I've outlined, if you don't enjoy playing Aug, which I don't, there's always that risk that you might get pressured into Aug, or you might lose your raid spot because they want to bring in someone else because, you know, they want to have an Aug instead. So like, that's why I personally play Mage now. Before they added Aug, I was like all about just swapping Evoker full on, right? But after Aug was added, I realized after a couple tiers of playing Devastation that the conversation was always going to go the same way. It's always the same conversation, always, over and over again. It always boils down to this: if the guilds that have cleared the bosses already are using Aug, they're gonna want you to go Aug. And sure, if your raid progress is lower, like maybe you can get away with it, but like it feels really fucking bad whenever you're an Aug Evoker and like you could be doing more damage as Dev, but the problem is that like you can't change people's perception. So I'll give you an example. Let's imagine that you're in a guild and you're like really good at playing damage, and you in this hypothetical, everyone in your guild is kind of like middling tier. They're not like great at the game, but they're not terrible, but they're like, no one's like really parsing. Like everyone's like green parse everything, maybe, you know, gray parse, whatever. Everyone's like kind of bad at doing damage. And you're like good. You're like always pink parsing, you're like doing fucking damage, right? You're like always top in the raid, even though you're playing Dev. Okay? What's going to happen is eventually you're going to get pressure into playing Aug. And what's going to happen is, if you actually bend to that pressure, your raid damage will probably go down. Even if Aug is better, like your raid damage will probably go down, because Aug being better depends on the other people doing their damage too, right? So it's a support spec. So if you can't like play with people who can like also perform at the same level, then you're always going to be stunted. You're always going to be held back. And unfortunately, this is not something you can easily talk about to the people that you're playing with, right? Because the only way you can really approach the conversation is to say like, to imply that people are bad, right?
Wow.
Like it almost makes it like you're like in this dilemma where like, on one hand, you know it's correct for you to play Dev because your damage would be higher as a raid, and you personally can do the damage and you can outperform, and you can do that. But on the other hand, if you fight to convince people of this, you will make everyone hate you, because basically it boils down to this. It boils down to you having to tell them that they're bad. And that's not a good position to be in. It's going to cause a lot of friction with your fellow raiders. And especially if they're used to just following instead of like trying to think about what comp they should run. Because remember, not every guild should run the same comp. It's just people follow what they know works, right? So if you're in a guild that like can't see that, it's going to feel really frustrating to you, because you're going to want to try and perform the best, but you know, like in your heart, like you'd be doing more stuff. And that just feels fucking bad. And so like that situation, or like that dilemma, is what keeps me from wanting to play Dev. Because I just know that like it's always going to happen. Like it will always happen eventually. Like no matter what happens, like it's inevitable. So yeah. If you care about your damage, it's really hard to play Aug in a guild that like doesn't have everyone caring about their damage. You know what I mean? So you have to find like a good group to play with. And I'm in a good group now, but I'm just saying, like, for you guys, you know, trying to give you advice, like that's going to be what kind of holds you back if you're trying to play Aug in a group that maybe isn't up to par. Same goes for Mythic Plus. And people will be really quick in Mythic Plus to point fingers at you, even if you're doing everything right. The thing about Aug is like, doing everything right's not enough. You have to do everything right, and your teammates also have to do everything right. Yeah, or else it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, your damage is going to be lower, and then people are just going to look at the logs and they're going to point fingers at you and they're going to say, bad Aug. Bad Aug. And it's funny because it's like, that's not even the problem. The problem is everyone else. But how do you convince everyone else that that's the problem? You can't. And if you do, you're just going to make everyone mad at you, even if you're right. So yeah, anyways. This is the Aug dilemma. What's up, TMM? Is Flame Shaper viable? Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Just for a raid though. Change this to 2. Is Frost still reliant on Orb proc RNG? No. Frostfire is not reliant on Orb proc RNG. There's still RNG as Frostfire, but it's like it's not that bad. It's less than Spellslinger for sure. Oh, that was a gain. Good. We're slowly creeping up. We're at 2.5 now. Good shit, dude. We've been crawling up from the depths on Arcane. Let's put it into context with the other mage specs. Let's see here. Now, I say all the time, I tell them to look at my uptime compared to other augs and say that I'm not the problem. Usually it's enough. Yeah, so like, uptime is another thing people often misinterpret. Since you're playing aug, like I assume you understand better, but like, a lot of people who don't understand how aug works will simply look at like one metric. They'll look at just like Evan Might uptime, and they'll be like, oh, you're good or you're bad. And like, even that's like not a great reference. You know what I mean? Like, there's more to it. That's kind of the issue. Always has been. What they need to do is they need to shift the damage for aug. They need to shift it so more of it's personal, and they need to make you buff less people, and they need to make the other buffs, not Ebon Might, but like the other buffs, they need to make them like less important. I think that would go a long way to help Augmentation to be like balanceable, because right now I don't think it's in a state where you can really balance it. It's kind of fucked. Like, spec you cannot balance in this current state. You just need a new guild that lets you play dev. No. I'm not talking about my guild. I'm not talking about my guild, guys. I'm talking about the experience of people I've coached, and I've seen enough people fall into the same category. It's just, it is like a really common thing. No, if I wanted to play just like one trick dev, I would be able to, but the thing is like I would know in certain situations that I'd be better off playing aug. Like in my guild, this wouldn't be a problem, because like I would be able to buff people who do good damage. If I was playing aug in my guild, I would be able to parse every time. That would be super free. But again, I don't like it, and even though I would want to play dev, I would know I'm holding people back if I did that. So it's not a me problem. I'm just telling you guys the experience of people that I've coached, because I've seen this happen so many times. There's probably been like over 30 people I've coached who played Evoker who I found this problem in their logs and like pointed out to them and basically had to give them this stern talking to, because it's just such a common thing. It sucks, but it's common. I'm fine with Mage. Yeah, Mage is looking really strong. I think you could run more than one Mage in the raid. But, wait, why is it not liking this expression? I did something wrong here. Hold on. This tier ran 3 dev, 0 aug, so it's really weird if guilds are coping about aug. Yeah, one tier doesn't like fix it. This is a tier where for like external reasons, aug didn't really work. And it was like way worse in raid. Actually, it wasn't way worse in raid. It was just that dev was really good. But like, keep in mind that this tier had a boss, an in boss, where you could not play Aug. Like, even if Aug was like insanely good, you could not play Aug on the in boss this tier. At least not without like having to do a lot of bending over backwards. So this is not like a good example of like proof that like things would work out. Why is it not able to parse this? This is do I not have PTR enabled? Hold on, let me take the PTR part out. Maybe that's the problem. They changed the name of this buff. Why do we need a class that's sole job is to help others? Either shouldn't be a thing or it's divisive like PI. Yeah. It was an experiment, and unfortunately that experiment has like proven to kind of be a failure, but they haven't really done anything about it. So we're kind of in this weird like in between now. Dude, why isn't this working? Like, I literally ran these sims the other day. Something changed. This is so strange. I need to find a working profile and then kind of reverse engineer my way back. Will this one work? It's having a problem with the expressions. Why? Something must have changed. What if I... Hold on. Just gonna get rid of FF Fire 1. I think this is the one giving it trouble. Let's see if this works. I mean, the reason this is because there's an audience for it. There wasn't, I mean, so like there's an audience for anything. But like that's not really what we're saying. Like we're not saying that there shouldn't be like the class that people enjoy playing. Like we're not saying that it should cease to exist. We're saying that the way it exists is not healthy for the game. Like if there was a class in this game that could one-shot every raid boss and could PvP and could make you literally have your character get deleted if they killed you in PvP, there would be an audience for that class. Should that class exist? Because there's an audience for it. Should that class exist? One that can literally one-shot every raid boss, current, new, old, doesn't matter. One that can make you literally lose your character in PvP? Of course not. Of course not. There's two things you need to consider. One, the audience. Two, the health of the game. Okay, in the example I just gave, it would be very unhealthy for the game. So it's like a crazy example, but I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to illustrate my point here. That, like, just because people enjoy it doesn't mean it like should exist and like must exist. I do think that there's a middle ground though. I think AUG could be tweaked so that the people who enjoy it wouldn't lose their fun toy, and everyone else could enjoy the game still. And the way to make AUG work, they could keep the support aspect to it, but the way to make it work would be to reduce how much it force multiplies, because right now they have this problem here. So like, so the issue is like, basically, like, let's say that like your raid damage is like here, right? Like overall on average, like this is your raid damage in a good raid. Like in a raid with like bad players, let's say it's like here. And then AUG is always going to like take whatever damage it can buff, and it's going to basically be able to magnify it. So if you're able to magnify this one, like obviously you're getting a lot more damage than if you're magnifying like a bad raid, right? But because AUG's damage is like, you know, this is your personal, and then you add on like the damage from the raid, right? Like here's your new damage. They have like this weird balancing issue where like if you try to balance it so that like, let's say that we want AUG, like our tuning, like we want AUG to be like here. This is like the tuning that we're shooting for, right? Because there's like this external factor, like you're always going to either overshoot or undershoot. So like no matter what you do, it's like really hard to hit like the goal, right? If this is your goal. So like, let's say, okay, well, we're like, you know what? AUG is too good. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the amount of, impactful, like how impactful the buffs are, right? So we're going to cut back on that so that we can like get this class to be like perfectly balanced where it should be, right? So they take this and they're like, okay, so if we want to be perfectly balanced, what we need to do is we need to take this and we need to put it on the end here, and then we need to adjust it so that it like perfectly lines up, right? Okay, cool. We've perfectly balanced AUG, right? We've perfectly balanced AUG. Well, guess what? For 99% of people, you've just broken AUG. Because right here, this is where 99% of people playing AUG are. So now AUG is like super underpowered. Right? Even though it's balanced, like it's perfectly balanced, now it's super underpowered. So you're like, okay, well, okay, that's a problem. We need to buff AUG because it's like super underpowered. So here, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's grab our you know, all of our best data points and all of our best coders, and let's make AUG so it perfectly lines up here. Okay, cool. Now we have AUG perfectly balanced, right? On average, it's exactly where we want to be. Well, now here's the problem. For 10% of people, it's OP. So then you're like, okay, well, we need to find a middle ground, right? Like, how do we get this to be balanced for everyone? Well, that's the thing. No matter what, you're going to have this fucking giant gash in the middle where you can't really balance this. There's always going to be like this uncertainty here that you can't really line it up with. And so like the only way they can really make this thing balanced is if you go back to how the class is designed, and then you like find a way to make the damage within an easier margin, right? Take the personal damage and buff it. Take the damage from external people, nerf it. That way, if there's a difference, the most like variance you have, you can find that middle ground. Right? Because yeah, it'll still be a low OP. It'll still be a little underpowered in some cases, right? It still won't be perfectly balanced, but you're so much closer. And then that makes it so that the swings in the game, like the things that make you like, make AUG like super broken one tier, not and super underwhelming in another tier, like it has been, then it has less impact. So in a way, it's like you just need to add more. You need to like shift where the damage is for AUG in order so you can balance it, because it's too top heavy, right? It's way too top heavy right now. Like if you want to balance a class, like most classes, imagine it's like a fucking, you know, you're balancing like a rock on your finger, right? It's like You know, you can balance this easily. With Aug, it's like you're trying to balance a rock that looks like this on the tip of your finger, right? It's like, it's way too top heavy. Like, it's going to wobble too much. So, like, wobble OP direction, wobble bad. Like, it's no matter what. They just can't do it. So, like, they need to just shift stuff around to make it so that, like, they can actually balance this class. If they want it to be balanced, maybe they don't care. Maybe it's not a priority. Who knows? But I think they do want to balance it. I just think they've, like, created too big of a problem for themselves to balance it, really. So, yeah. Because if they make it so that bad Augs are, like, balanced, then they're making good Augs overpowered. If they make it so good Augs are balanced, then they're making it so bad Augs are overpowered. Or even, like, good Augs that are in groups that aren't good themselves, like the bad groups. So it's like, it's just too much, man. They need to just scale back the factor for how much it force multiplies. If they scale that back, then it won't be balanced, but it'll be, like, way easier to keep it, like, somewhat balanced. Which I think is what people really want. Like, no one wants, like, perfect balance, I don't think. We just want, like, some level of balance. Yeah, so you could make it so it buffs the entire raid, but I think the easier thing would just make it so you buff less people. And maybe keep Ebb and Might the way it is, but, like, shifting stance, I think, is a big problem. It's a big problem for not just raid, but, I mean, mainly Mythic Plus. Like, versatility is just, like, too strong a defensive. Like, they talked about, like, nerfing the defensiveness of Aug, and they've done that, but, like, shifting stance is, like, a big part of that, and they didn't touch that. So, it's kind of a problem. So, yeah. The way you can balance Aug is to make it do more personal damage and buff more people. If Ebb and Might buffs more people, it does around 30% of your damage, then the damage contribution buffed is slow. Yeah, I mean, they could take it a lot of different ways. I think it would be easier for them if it buffed less people, though, personally. Because think about it like this, right? If you're trying to shoot for a number and you're thinking about how much the personal damage is versus, like, the damage you're buffing, it is better on average to have it be less people. Because even in a raid full of, like, 16 awful players, there's going to be, like, 1 or 2 good players usually. So, like, if they make it less, like, the baseline, it's going to be easier for them to find, like, where they want to get it. I think it should buff 2 people, and I think it should have more of its damage shift to the personal damage. I think that's the way to do it. Because, like, just averages, right? Like, if you just look at, like, a grouping of 20 different numbers, if you're only looking at the 2 highest numbers versus if you're looking at all 20 and averaging them, you're always going to have more consistency if you're, like, looking at different sets, ones with, like, a bunch of high numbers, ones with a bunch of low numbers. Like, you're going to have more consistency if you just, like, pull a couple as opposed to, like, looking the whole thing over, because, yeah. You just need, like, 1 or 2, and then it should be, like, relatively balanced. Anyways. Yeah. Okay, so back to this. So we want to figure out how it should pool for Touch of the Magi here, Arcane. So I'm thinking, so this was our best performing one so far. Basically what I have it doing is it does Arcane Missiles if we're about to use Touch of the Magi, and if we have Aether Attunement up and we have Clear Casting, it's just going to go ahead and use that Aether Attunement before it uses Touch. So that way it doesn't waste Aether Attunement. Actually, I'm going to rename this. Okay. And then so this needs to be above. Actually, hold on. Is this out of place? I'm gonna try moving it down here and see what happens. I think it might be too high in the priority. What spec are you gonna main in season 2? I'm probably gonna go in as fire, but Arcane and Frost are good. So I never really main a spec. I main a class. Okay, that was actually a loss. Let's put it back where it was. Yeah, I'll play mage and I'll just play whatever spec's best for the boss. I think it might actually be different depending on the boss. Yeah, I think the line does belong up here for missiles because it needs to be higher priority than the brush. Is it fun? I mean, here's the thing, right? It's subjective, but it could be cringe. I don't know. I don't understand the full extent of how we should play Arcane Mage. All I can do is like experiment with ideas like I'm doing right now to try and figure it out. So this number right here is within. We're missing like 50k is all. Yeah, we're missing only 50k damage. So we're actually pretty close. We're around the cusp of it, I think. I'm saying versus like the screenshots I've seen of like what has been cooked up. The number could be shifted now, but like I think I'm getting pretty close to what would be right. Like maybe within like 2%. So like the way that I have it set up right now isn't that cringe. Like and there might be optimizations that make it cringe, but like the way I'm having this play right now is like not bad. Like I wouldn't mind playing this at all. I mean, it's literally just play it normal, except for don't waste the intuition and don't waste Aether Attunement. And by play it normal, I mean just like literally replace Aether Vision with intuition. Right? There's like, I'm not doing like anything special with this one. I'm just trying to optimize the APL to not waste procs. That's all I've been doing this whole time. Just trying to find gains while not wasting procs, just doing things that like intuitively would make sense to me if I was playing it. So like the way that this one plays, which is probably within 2% of whatever the proper way of playing is, that I don't know because I don't have access to that sim. It's like it's playing like you would expect, like in a non-cringe way. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not cringe because I don't know the full extent. Like I don't understand how it should actually play entirely. No one does, to be frank. But some people are going to be closer than I am. But if it's that close, like, I don't think it's like that far off from like, for like most players, like you can just play it this way. You can just play it this way and like have fun. And I do think it's fun. If you're like really tapped into like the current sentiment on Mage, like one thing you need to be aware of is that every class Discord has a certain there's a certain pitfall that's impossible to escape when you create a community about like something you really enjoy. So people who are like very passionate, especially people who have who you know, by no fault of their own have become a bit jaded about it. It's like in a situation like that, it's like pretty much impossible to avoid the situation becoming somewhat of an echo chamber. That's why I try to like just play things on my own and just make my own assessment on them instead of like reading too much into what other people's opinions on it are. So I don't blame anyone. I don't think it's wrong that people are still negative about Arcane, but I do think it's improved, and I think it's worth keeping an open mind to it. Because I think they are making some good changes. Like, I don't think it's all bad. I have been more negative recently, but I've also been more positive in like the last week. So I don't know. I try to give it like a well-balanced assessment, and I think it is actually kind of fun. I've been playing it on the PTR. I've been enjoying it, and it feels to me a lot better than it did before. Is it as good as the beta version? No, it'll never be as good as that one. I don't think. I don't think they can make it as good as how beta felt. Like beta just felt really, really good before they like kind of ruined everything. But now they're trying to fix it, and it feels like they might be on to something. There are some like weird things. Like there are some weird bits like you'll waste intuition sometimes whenever you're shifting power. Sometimes you're gonna waste intuition because you like have Aether Attunement right before Touch of the Magi. Like it's not perfect. There's definitely problems with it, but I don't want to be like overly critical about it, and I do think it's like much better than it was. So like I don't know. I don't want to be overly critical of it. I think some of the ways that it might play might be taken as like an example of like, oh, this is so cringe, but like if you want to believe that, like it's going to be really hard to not convince yourself that, right? So I don't know. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad, and I think some of the issues with it are overblown. At least in the current setup. Like some of them from before, maybe not so much, but like now. So yeah, don't get too caught up in what other people's opinions on it are, though. Like not even mine. Like just, you know, the best way to know if you're going to enjoy it is to just go on the PTR and play it. So I'll explain how you should play it if you want to try it out, at least to the best of my abilities. So basically, you know, to Evocation, Missiles, Surge Touch, and then just start pressing Arcane Blast, and if you get a Missiles proc, use the Missiles proc. If you get Intuition, you have Nether Precision, use Barrage. If you have Intuition and you don't have Nether Precision, and you don't have Clear Casting, Barrage. And just like continue along like that. And then whenever Touch of the Magi is coming up, try to use your Aether Attunement beforehand if you have one. Do it before the Touch of the Magi, though. Don't delay the Touch of the Magi. Use it beforehand. Try not to munch Intuition. Try not to munch Aether Vision. Try not to munch Burden of Power. Just, you know, the way it intuitively makes sense to play it. Just play it that way. That's how this is playing it. It's doing pretty good. So, yeah. Try that out. See if you like it. I am... So there is an orb condition, but it's not being used a lot. So the only time it ever uses Arcane Orb is if it has less than 2 Arcane stacks and Arcane Soul is not up, which is like pretty rare. As you can see here, it only used it less than 1 time on average. So like over 5 minutes, it's using it only like once on average. So yeah, you don't really use Orb too much. Like it does have a case for using Orb, but super, super rare. In fact, you could probably just not use it and probably do like the same. I could probably remove this line and it would make very little difference. It's mainly, Orb is mainly for if you run out of mana. That's usually when Orb gets used. But yeah, here's the opener in the sim I just ran. So like Evocation, right? Use your missiles. Search into Touch. Arcane Blast. And then if it has 3 clear casting, it's using extra missiles. So it's doing missiles, missiles, blast, blast, missiles, 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 blast, blast. I wonder if I should take out that part. I wonder... I think it's probably worth it to send the missiles, but I wonder if that's... I wonder if that's actually worth... Hold on. Let's explore this idea. When is PTR up? We don't know. Is Sun Fury or Frostfire better in 11.1? For fire? I'm assuming you mean? Sun Fury, I think, is going to be better. In Raid, they're like fairly close, but I think Sun Fury just feels better. Like less hard casting, very, very fun reactive gameplay, like probably like way better in Mythic Plus. Yeah, UI. Yep. Okay, so Arcane Missiles, if clear casting, the other percentage is down, or if we have 3 clear casting. So we just removed this line right here. All right, let's see what that does. Frostfire, Frost, there's some Fury Fire for Mythic Plus. Frost versus Fire in Mythic Plus is like, it kind of requires like a nuanced answer. Yeah, I mean, like, personally, I'll do Sun Fury, but I think Frost is also pretty good. Also, Spellslinger Frost is pretty good too. I think they're all pretty good Mythic Plus. Probably depends on the dungeon. Depends on the comp. Depends on how you're pulling. Depends on, like, a million different things. It's hard to guess what Mythic Plus spec will be, but I think if you play Sun Fury Fire, though, you'll have a good time. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so the missiles thing was a wash. We do actually like missiles, but this can actually teach us something. Every lesson, or sorry, every experiment we do that fails actually teaches us something too, because now I know that it is important for it to use those extra missiles. So the missiles are actually worth using. So now the question is, okay, well, what if we do it in the opposite direction? What if we are even more aggressive about trying to use missiles? What happens then? Because removing that part, making it more lax, made it go down. So maybe the opposite will make it go up. So let's say, okay, right here. Arcane Missiles, if buff clear casting react, buff another precision down, buff clear casting react equals 3. Interrupt if, and what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the buff Aether Attunement down part. So I'm basically going to tell to always clip missiles, even if it has Aether Attunement up. I don't know if people say enough, but love these sim testing streams. Awesome to see the entire process. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to do this stuff. It's hard to like read while I'm also thinking about stuff though. So you're gonna hear me like fucking fumble over my words like crazy today because I'm trying to not interrupt a train of thought. Oh yeah, the clipping thing. It does not like that. Is Spellslinger Arcane dead? No, it's not. It's just, if I'm going to put time into looking at one of these, I'm not going to split my time between two. So I had to choose one. So I'm choosing to spend my time on Sun Fury. I don't think Spellslinger's dead. It's just, I would rather spend my time on the one I would prefer to play. Yeah, so let's think about this more then. Okay, so clipping all of them is bad. But it is a gain still to like use more missiles. So what that tells us is if we're gonna be clipping all of them, there needs to be like something else. We can probably have it do more and clip more, but maybe we don't clip Aether Attunement, or we only clip Aether Attunement under certain circumstances. What if we only clip Aether Attunement during Arcane Soul? So let's say and then we'll put parenthesis and we'll say buff Aether Attunement down, or buff Aether Attunement up and buff Arcane Soul up. So we'll only clip Aether Attunement during Arcane Soul. Okay. There it is. There it is, chat. There it is. We found another one. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I could expand this to Surge. But Soul is good. Yeah, we can try Surge too. I like to like keep making these cases because I like to reference them sometimes to make little changes. So we're just gonna add a new case here. Yeah, so this is if Aether Attunement's down or if Aether Attunement's up and Arcane Soul is up, and we'll do or Arcane Surge is up. Thank you for all the guides on Wowhead. Had no idea you streamed on YouTube. Yo, what's up, dude? Welcome. I stream on Twitch too. We're live on Twitch and YouTube right now. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing a little cooking today. Seeing what we can optimize for Arcane. Okay, yeah, that was not good. That went the opposite way. We'll keep it in there though, just as a reminder. We've almost made a whole percentage point, guys. Almost. Slowly creeping up. Oh, I have another idea. What if we did no missiles in Arcane Soul? What if we like only spam barrage? I don't think it's gonna be a gain, but I'm curious to see how much of a loss it is. Cause like clipping Aether Attunement's worth it in Soul. So it's probably just another precision that's giving it that value. So like following that logic, what if we just like got rid of it entirely? Okay, yeah. So Arcane Missiles, if buff clear casting react, another precision down, or buff clear casting react equals 3. High voltage. Okay, let's rename this. Soul Barrage. Only. Okay. So what we'll do here is we'll just make sure it doesn't cast missiles in Soul. So anytime it says Arcane Missiles, right here. So it's just this one actually. All we have to do is add a little bit to the start of this. We just do buff Arcane Soul equals down. Easy. And then let's make sure the barrage is already set up too. Arcane Soul up and... Wait, actually, hold on. I'm doing this wrong. I should do on the barrage line. Right here. Buff Arcane Soul up and... Buff Clear Casting Reactory. This doesn't make sense, but I'm just gonna do this to test it. So yeah, I'm basically saying if Arcane Soul is up, just do it. Yeah. Okay. Touch of the Magi overlap with Arcane Soul? Not really something you want to do. Unless, well, I guess you could delay it. That might be weird. I don't know. We could try it. I won't rule it out. Oh, wow. That's actually surprising. It's like the same. That's really interesting. Wait, if it's the same... Hold on, I gotta confirm this. This could have implications. Oh, it is still missing here. Hold on. We didn't do this right. What does Arcane Soul damage go to? Goes to 5. Wait, what if we like... Okay, hear me out. What if we ramped the Arcane Soul damage buff? And then we said you're allowed to do missiles at the end. So we'll start Arcane Soul by just ramping the damage on Arcane Soul damage buff. Boom, 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 boom. Try to get like 4 stacks. And then we'll allow it to do missiles, barrage, barrage, missiles, barrage, barrage. Need to figure out why it's still using missiles though. Probably just missed the line. The talents? Yeah, I can show you the talents. Hold on. Let me go back. The talents I'm using are... these talents. I'll put them in chat too for you. Financial gold making advice? Nope. This is not financial advice. Gotta look elsewhere for that. What is... Okay, there's got to be another precision here that I didn't see before. And another precision up or clear cast and react equals 0. Oh, here it is. So this is what's tripping it. Okay. I want to redo how I wrote this. Let's start over. So this line right here is basically forcing it to alternate even in Arcane Soul. It's like the Arcane Soul line. So just for my own clarity, my own visual clarity, so I can make sense of this. And I'll have to condense this later if I find something good and want to share it. But we're just gonna do this. We're gonna do we're gonna make this just for Arcane Soul. So Arcane Barrage if, and I'm gonna do buff Arcane Soul up and buff Arcane Soul damage. Stack. Is less than 5. So if it's in Arcane Soul and it doesn't have 5 stacks yet, or sorry, if it doesn't have 4 stacks yet, then it's just gonna barrage until it till it gets there. We need to add it to this part too. Actually, hold on. I can just put it above it. Easy. Okay. Actually, we'll put like way the fuck up here. Why not? I'll make sure it goes off. And I know the next thing I'm going to want to test is different stacks in step 4, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay. Touch of Magi delayed so overlap so Arcane Soul, then ramp the Soul buff, do Missile Barrage at the end. I think there's too much value in stacking the buffs. I'm not sure if that'll work. It's an idea though. It would take a little bit of work to get that to line up well though. It's a little bit difficult. But it's something that could be useful to look into. Is it a bug that Devastation tier says giving Essence Burst procs? It might be. Or maybe it's a bug that it doesn't give it on the Dragon Rage. I'm not sure which one's the bug. It's hard to say. Only Blizzard knows. Okay, so it's a lost, but hold on. Let's see why. I want to confirm it's playing properly here. Okay, so if we look here, it shouldn't do a missile until it gets higher stacks in Arcane Soul. All right, so Arcane Soul activates. Barrage. Now it's at 3. Now it does missiles. Barrage. Missiles. Barrage. Wait, why did it just do 1 barrage here? Was it so I could line it up so it did 2 barrages in a row here? Can you test delaying Touch of Magi to say 6 seconds? Listen. A test like this is hard to do. It takes a lot of thinking through because if I want it to delay cooldowns, it's going to be, think about the implications for like later on, right? It could like cause everything to get offset later. So like if we scroll down, I'll show you an example. So let's like get further in this. What's going to happen is cooldowns are going to shift over time. It's already pretty hard for the sim to like keep everything lined up already. It's going to cause things to perhaps get out of the whack. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to figure out like how long to delay it, and then there's like a million different variables on like the amount of time you could delay it, and then we have to figure out like when it should evocate. And yeah, I mean, listen, we could go this route, but I'm just saying it might just be like an hour or two to do it. So I'm not looking to do that right now. I appreciate your feedback, and I've considered the thought. I've also thought about this before, but also I don't think it's... Right now, I don't think it's worth the time to try and figure that out. I'll let someone else figure that one out. Because I want to figure out the Arcane Soul thing first. And then there's other things I want to figure out too. But yeah, if you were to delay Touch of the Magi, you would need to delay it by like probably 10 seconds, maybe 12. So that would mean on your opener there's like 12 seconds without using cooldowns, and that would mean on average so like the variable timing would mean that like a portion of those would have 12 seconds less of cooldowns. I think it might counteract it. Anyways. Yeah, that's something that we might test if we have time. But does the damage even spike during that time? Hold on. Is it even worth it to even explore this thought? Here, we can see. So like here's where our touch and everything is lined up, right? It's like here from 0 seconds until like 22, 24 seconds. And then basically Arcane Soul is like this little bump right here. Like this little bump is Touch of the Magi. And then this little hump right here is like Arcane Soul on the tail end. I don't know if it'll be worth it. Gotta think about like this too. Like Touch of Magi does want one Arcane Blast in it as well, and it's gonna be really hard to like try to fit that in. I think realistically, if you were to do this, you'd want Touch of the Magi to go up at the end of Surge, not after Surge. You'd want to put it at the end. That way you could get one Arcane Blast in. So you'd probably do a little sooner. You'd probably do it at like 10 seconds later instead of like 12. If we were going off of 12 as the initial number, you'd do like 10 so that you can like get a little Surge in there, and then you could swap over to Soul. But I don't think overlapping those CDs is going to be worth it, because I think you'll do more bursts during Soul, or during Surge, because Surge is 35% more damage. If there was somehow a way to overlap Surge and Soul, that would be cool. But there isn't, because it's tied to, like, even if you click off your Surge, it doesn't work. Is someone wanting to start learning Mage? What spec? Oh, if someone is wanting to start learning Mage, what spec would you recommend starting with? Probably Frost. Fire Frost. Probably the easiest one to get your hands on and like understand at least a decent chunk of it. Guys, what am I looking at? What the fuck game is this? WoW 2? Yo, is this WoW 2? Oh, what was the best one so far? Yeah, Intuition, Clip, AA Soul. Yeah, so clipping Aether 2-man Soul is worth... Harmony condition? Yeah, you could add a harmony condition. So, I'm sure that there is a harmony condition to be like somehow added in here for when you barrage, but I'm specifically going on my way to not do stuff like that. If there is a gain to harmony stack tracking, I don't think it's going to be big enough to make me want to actually do that. And I think just like my approach is always trying to sim what I want to use my character for, like how I want to play, and like if there is a gain to that, I would prefer to find a gain that doesn't have to do with tracking the harmony stacks, because we can basically accomplish the same thing through other things to track that are like things we already track, just like changing how it plays. So like, yeah, basically if there is a gain to it, I don't think it's big, and if that gain does exist, I don't want to know about it. I'm not looking to track harmony stacks. So if it's like big enough, I will do it, but I am not going to spend my time looking at that. Because like all of the things I've done so far are things that keep it intuitive. We have not, in any of these optimizations we've made so far, we have not done anything that's like gonna make the spec more cringe. Everything I've done is healthy. In fact, it's probably even more healthy than it was, because I'm just like not wasting buffs. Basically, I'm just like making it use all of its Aether attunements. I'm making it use its intuitions like within reasonable range, because some of them are like impossible to use. But I'm just trying to make it like waste less buffs. That's what I'm doing. Because like so far, this is just playing it intuitively while not wasting procs, if you were to condense it. Okay. Let's take a break from Arcane. And let's look at some like Fire or Frost or something. I need to find a working... Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, I need to find a way to make this work again. Well, maybe just normal raid bots will do it. Maybe that's why it doesn't work anymore. Maybe they shift it over. No, it doesn't like this still. Okay, what the fuck is going on, man? These sims were working just the other day. Something has changed, and I don't understand what. Hold on, let's go just grab it. This is from 2 months ago. But what is actually causing this issue? Hold on. SS Frost. FF Frost. Is this even the right one? Hold on, I'm just gonna go grab an example somewhere. Guys, PTR is down right now. When are we getting the changes? They're changing something, aren't they? Guys, they're changing something, aren't they? There's hotfixing happening right now, isn't there? I have a feeling, dude. Something's amiss right now. I feel like Blizzard is actually modifying Arcane as we speak. No, I'm pretty sure they're gonna. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get notes within the hour or something that include some sort of tuning or changing of talents. Because it can't be a coincidence that it is 1 p.m. there on a Wednesday, and the PTR just went down. And it's still down. Something's getting changed right now. I know it. I just grabbed Gusto's APL. I'm gonna try and put this next to Arcane, get a comparison here. Arcane Barrage now targets 10 enemies and gives you Aether Vision for 2 seconds. Yeah, that's good. I like that. The return of double dipping, let it happen. Okay. So we got Frost in here. Let's add in Fire. This one's from Zom. Okay, now let's add in our Arcane one that we just made. Let me annotate it. Bum, 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 bum. What do you guys think? How long until the patch notes drop? How long you guys think? With Blizzard, it could be a while. No. There's always something you can use as like a way to divine what they're doing. We have to figure out what to look at. There's always a sign somewhere. Usually they like to drop the stuff like not end of day, but like kind of before. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be like within the next hour or two. Meow, how do I play the game in 10.1? Wait, you're playing 10.1? You're in Dragonflight? I don't know. I mean, you could go on like a private server, I guess. Okay, what class are you even talking about, though? I understand what you meant. I'm just kind of joking around. What class? What spec? What are we talking? Are there new raid consumables? I don't think so. The last 3 builds have dropped at 7:06 p.m., 4 p.m., and 5:48 p.m. 8 p.m. EST is probably a few hours yet. Wait, which ones dropped on the Wednesday, though? Can you tell me that? Yeah, they added the raid renown track. Okay, so talents are good. Let's look at different stats then. Why is it not changing the gems? What spec do I prefer to play? Sun Fury Fire. 548, 403 were the last two Tuesdays. Is that Eastern time? Did you put the time zone in? Does it feel like you have to play SKB? No. Oh, if you play Frostfire, yeah. Yeah. Actually, maybe not. You don't have to play SKB in 11.1. Let me just put it that way. You have options to not do that. Is SF going to be much better than SS for Arcane? I'm not going to get into the differences between those two because I haven't run too many SS Arcane ones. But from what I understand, just from like word on the street, it seems like they're pretty close. But I haven't really run too many SS sims myself. I've barely even touched SF Arcane, which is what we're looking at right now. How's new Devastation Evoker looking on Sims? Good, actually. I think it's top 5 range. But unfortunately, Aug, I think, is still better. But Dev is, like, really good. And you can play in Raid, Flame Shaper or Skill Commander. Both are pretty strong. Which mage spec recommended for 11.1? Depends on what you like. But I'll tell you what I'm going to play. I'm going to play Sun Fury Fire. I might even play some Frostfire Frost on some fights. Maybe like single target fights. And I may perhaps play some Sun Fury Arcane. But I'm probably going to stick with them in that order. Yeah. Yeah, Dev will be my ult. I'll probably play mainly Flameshaper on it since it's new. So here's what I have so far. So I know that this Arcane one is not all the way optimized. I haven't been able to optimize it all the way because I just haven't had time, and I also I'm not as good at this as other people are. So I expect that this number will probably go up by an okay chunk. But this is like super early stuff. You see the disclaimer at the top of the stream, right? But yeah. It's like Frost, and then I think they're all fairly close. I think there is a lot of room for improvement here in the sim. If I had to guess, maybe like 4%. So they're all going to be basically within 2%, I think, in the end. Oh, guys, I finished it. Finished Wind in Truth just this morning. Holy fuck, dude. What an ending, man. No spoilers, though. But goddamn. Yeah, they're gonna change Arcane. I know it, dude. I fucking know it. In fact, I keep like refreshing Wowhead because I'm expecting it, dude. Something something's in the wind, dude. I can feel it. Any second now. There's no way it's a coincidence, right? Wednesday, before the patch, they just announced the date. During work hours, PTR is down. And I'm doing sim work. There's no way. They're gonna do something. Something is gonna change. I can fucking feel it. I'm heading to bed in 30 minutes, which seems to be when they drop notes usually, so I'll wait a bit. What do you think it's going to be, Flex? What changes are you expecting? What's your prediction? We can all brainstorm what the change is going to be. Okay, let's predict some things, yeah? Let's just make some bold predictions about the patch. Yeah, number 1 is an Arcane Barrage buff. That is like a given, okay? If we look to history, there's probably going to be a change to Burden Power as well. There'll probably be like, Burden Power now only affects Barrage or something stupid like that. Because I feel like they always do this. It'll be like 10% Barrage buff. Burden Power no longer affects Blast or something stupid like that. They'll just like flip-flop it. Intuition now lasts 4 seconds. They'll probably like change some talent for Frost again. There'll probably be like a minor Frost change. There'll probably be like a fire change. They'll probably nerf fire again for no reason. I'm not abandoning the Evoker guides. Oh my god. Dude, you don't even keep up with what I'm doing next. I already said it. The next thing that's coming out is a Flameshaper Evoker guide. We've been talking about this for like the last 3 streams. 10% pyro nerf? Yeah, it'll be like some really stupid, unnecessary Fire nerf. Should we do a bingo card? Hold on. Wait, maybe there's a website we can do on this. Enter a title. Minor. Frost. Frost talent reword. Intuition. Duration. Changed. What should be the free one? The free one here. Fire nerfed. That should be the free one, right? Arcane Barrage buff 10%. It should be the free node? Yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, yeah, you've convinced me. That should be it. That one is free. God damn it. There we go. What else? What else? What else? Oh, Mage not mentioned is a good one. That one should be like in like down below or something. What else? Warlock buffed? That's a good one. I like that one. It's funny. What else is changing, guys? Talent positioning has been changed. That's a good one. Okay, we need one more. Enhance removed, Aug removed, Living Bomb nerf. I think the Stars and Stripes, yeah? Excess frost changed. Typo and mage changes. Nerf to tier set. Splinter damage change. No, guys, it's gotta be funny. We need another funny one. We are happy with the state of mage. Mage not mentioned wipes out whatever row since you can't fill it. Yeah. It is true, it does. Let's get rid of that one. Trying to think of what else. Scorch nerfed. Double dipping's back. That's a dead square, dude. A Spy Master buff? What the fuck? That's also a dead square. There's no way. There has to be like some truth to it. It's got to be funny, and it's got to be... There's got to be some truth to it. New talent. What about like Nether Precision no longer affects Barrage? I feel like that might be another one. It would be good. Because they just put it back. Or like, I guess excess frost. Excess frost. No, we're doing a bingo card. Excess frost, CDR nerfed. Or buffed. We'll just say excess frost changed. All right, now we all have to get our cards. Oh, wait. How do I generate the cards? I think we just take this one. I just posted in the Mage Discord. But yeah, for mage specs, which one is best depends on what you're doing. But if you're looking for one to just lock in and like turn off your brain, I recommend trying out Sun Fury Fire. That'd be my best recommendation for you right now. Mostly Mythic Plus. Okay. Frost is a good one. Fire is also good. Arcane might be good. But I think if you want the safest bet, just do Fire. Maybe you play Frost in some keys. So, same answer. I'm hopping on a plane to Shanghai in 3 hours. I need to see how the bingo game goes. Yeah, we'll see if we get a bingo. But here's the best one I have so far. And keep in mind, this is a work in progress. So easily could get like 3% more on this, which would bring it up to all the specs being like within 2% in single target. Ignite build. Here, I'll show you what you want to play. If you want to play Sun Fury on the PTR, this is what I would recommend. There are some variations you can take on it, but I'll show you what I recommend. So this is what I would recommend here. This is the Living Bomb build, but you also have 1 point for the Flame Strike, which is definitely worth it because this point's dog shit. And then the one thing that you can change is where this last point goes. So Fevered Incantation can go over here to Master of Flame. But it's a little worse. And then you can also do Firefall, which will be better at lower target counts. So if the dungeon has like on average, like let's say like 3 mobs or something like that, Firefall might actually win. But I think in most cases, this is the best setup. We're doing Living Bomb 100%. Nothing's 100%, man. Nothing's 100%. But it's a good chance, yeah. In my testing, it seems to be like by far the best. I tried different variations of fire, doing like only caring about flame strike, only caring about living bomb, doing like a mostly single target but including flame strike, and all of these had their strengths and weaknesses, but overall the best performing was the living bomb. So that's what I'm going to recommend for Mythic Plus, is the build I just showed, because it has like the best overall. Here, I'll just show you. So like here's some numbers from whenever I was simulating it before. So this is single target, this is 2 target, this is 3 target, this is 4 target, this is 5 target, this is 8 target, this is 10 target. So the one that says Top Gear, see above, this one is single target. Oh, is the patch? Is there a patch? Is there a patch? Is there a patch? Is there a patch? Oh, there is. There's patch, guys. It's not a drill. It's not a drill. The patch is here. That means the notes are forthcoming. The patch is coming, guys. Updating. It's still initializing. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Can we log in? I suck at Fire Mage help. Go check out my latest Fire Mage video. Maybe that'll help. Can you be more specific if you have a question? Like, what is it that you're stuck on? Where notes? Where notes? Where notes? Notes are waiting. We're waiting. No notes. Notes soon. Notes soon. Server's up. Heard it before, seen it before. Let's see if it's true. Oh shit. Let's go. Where the fuck are the notes, man? Ain't no way this is what they changed. New arms warrior animations? There's gotta be more. Okay, burden of power is 20%, 20%. Nether precision still does blast and barrage. Ain't no way, dude. Ain't no way it's just warrior animations. Check intuition. Yeah, hold on. Well, we gotta check the duration. That was 3 seconds, wasn't it? Yeah, it's the same. New Colossus Smash animation. So they like strike the armor and then it does like a bunch of hammers in every direction. Oh, that looked cool. It's just a bunch of them overlaps. Okay, it actually does look kind of bad though. If you see a bunch of them together. This is already on the PTR? Oh shit. Damn. Well, I don't play Warrior too much these days, so. Where's the notes, man? What did we get? Wait, this is new though. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this arrow above their head? Are you guys seeing this shit? What is that? It's above the player? Yeah, it's part of this player. He's got a giant fucking arrow on his head. Okay, here we go. There is changes, guys. There's changes. They're right here. Okay, hold on. We gotta get our bingo card out. Hold on. Huge news. All right, let's get our bingo card. There we go. And the changes. This is just a recap, but there is going to be new stuff in here. Oh, this is going to be hard to parse. I want to just see what changed. It might be easier to go through the spell data. Oh, this is old. Yeah, give me a sec. I'm trying to think of how to look this up. It's Wago tools, right? Wago tools. We're gonna keep Wowhead ready just in case there's a clearly readable one. Should be popping up any second here. Wait, what was this? All tank damage buffs. Fuck yeah. Wait, here we go. This is it. Mirror Image now have their Frostbolt missiles hidden for allies in raids and dungeons. Arcane Echo's impact visual is now caster only. Excess Frost now reduces the cooldown of Meteor by 5 seconds. Okay, we have one. Let's see, where's our Excess Frost? Here we go. Okay. Isothermic Core now causes Comet Storm at 250% effectiveness. Flash Freeze Burn can no longer trigger from combustions granted from Sun King's Blessing or Time Anomaly. Wait, what? What? Bro, this is not the, like, okay, this is a fire nerf. This is just a random stray that Frostfire got. Does this count, guys? Do we count this as a fire nerf? This is specifically fire. I think this is a fire nerf. I mean, it may not be the one that we would play, but like, it is a nerf to fire. It's just, you know, at least we do have another option, but still. Developer note, Flash Freeze Burn combined with Sun King's Blessing was a large contributor to the resource and proc overflow. Wait, guys. No way, dude. There's no way they just did what... Oh my god. Okay, guys. Guys, okay. Okay, there's like two people. There's two people on the job. And they both realize that there's a problem. Okay? One realizes that they have too many bolts. Right? They're just... Somehow they're manufacturing too many widgets. Or whatever. And then the other guy is in charge of like using the widgets, and he can't use all the widgets. So they both go to their manager at the same time, and the manager isn't really paying attention that day. They're just listening, trying to get stuff done. Both of them complain about too many widgets, so they halt it. One guy says, "Yeah, we should just cut out like 50% of them." The other guy says, we have so many that we don't need the machine that manufactures them anymore. We should just, the backup machine, we should just get rid of that too. And then at the end of the day, they have no widgets anymore. Because they both made the same change without realizing it. They've nerfed this two different ways to fix the same problem, but they both were to fix the problem at the same time. They're making it so they reworked all the excess buffs because of proc overflow. They increased the amount of stacks you could hold because of proc overflow. Then they changed how you get them through the buff because of the proc overflow. And now after those changes, now they're going back and saying, we're also going to remove the other contributor because of proc overflow. There's no... It's the cooldown on Phoenix Flame that's like the bottleneck now. The bottleneck is the cooldown on Phoenix Flame. Like... You've nerfed this in so many different ways. How are you not seeing that, like, you're literally just doing the same thing over and over again? You're just, like, you're just beating the dead horse here. Like, Frostfire is, like, it doesn't need a nerf. I should have said Frostfire nerfed. I'm just going to write Frost here. We're going to circle that. We're going to count this as a fire nerf, but I'm going to elaborate. This is Frostfire nerfed. They legit copy-pasted that under Frost 2. Didn't even swap Fire Frost. Absolute laziness. Wait, dude. What? Oh my god. Do you guys think that Fire just took a stray because of Frost? Blizzard damage reduced by 10%. Damn, dude. We would have had a bingo if they messed with Arcane Barrage. That's so close. Frost took a straight from Fire? You think so? Do you think this nerf was more aimed at Fire or more aimed at Frost? Because they're obviously doing this for consistency, right? Which of the specs was more likely to be played? Frostfire Fire or Frostfire Frost? Let's go back to the sim results. Which one of these do you think was more likely to be played? Oh, I don't have Frostfire Frost in here, but it'd be down below. The text below... Oh, it does? Oh, maybe that's a hint. Okay, maybe it is aimed at fire. That's weird though. That seems even dumber. That like how apparently Frost has Sun King's Blessing now? That's actually crazy. To remain consistent, we've also done it to Frost. Yeah. It's true. Okay. So like I don't think this changes anything. At least for me. Because I kind of wanted to play Sun Fury Fire anyways, and what this does is it just makes like Frostfire... Well, wait, is Frostfire Frost worse though? I mean, it is for Frost. For Fire, it's getting more meteor damage. Wait, they buffed Fury? No way, dude. They buffed Fury Warrior? Ain't no fucking way, dude. Ain't no fucking way they buffed Fury Warrior. What the fuck? Dude. Do you guys realize what this means? Here, let me break it down. So Fury Warrior was like already higher than like every other spec in the game by like a pretty wide margin. And they just buffed it. So like it was already literally standing above everything, and now it's even better. This would be like, this was literally the meme of like Warlock buffed. It's like that. Only it's actually worse because Fury was higher. It was like so much higher that like it almost seemed like it wasn't real. Like there was just no way that it would like withstand the next patch. Those talents aren't usables. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter, but Fury is still like better than every other spec by like a pretty wide margin in terms of single target damage. Like everyone's talking about like how OP Warlock and like Shadow Priest is, but like Fury is actually like egregious. Oh wait, Dev got a buff. Wait, hold on. Dev got buffed by 4%? And then it also got buffed by 4% by the fix to Essence Burst. Oh, and Aug nerfed? Dude, wait, hold on. Dev might actually be better than Aug now. Wait, say that thing about Dev being better than Aug again? I'm not sure I heard that right. I don't know if it is, but it might be. So like, okay, Dev has been creeping up slowly because they like did like little changes to it, and then they changed the tier bonus on it to make it so it like gave essence burst, which I don't know if that's a bug or not, but it did buff it by like around 4%. It's like 3.8% buff or something like that. And then now we're getting a 4% buff on top of that. So now it's up like basically 8% where it was from PTR testing. By the way, it was already good at the end of PTR testing. And now it's 8% higher than the PTR test. And they nerfed Aug as well. So if this is like a 2% Aug nerf, then Dev is probably better. Probably. But I'll have to run numbers. But it could be, it could actually be better now. What else changed in here? The problem with Warrior is the people. Just brainless pugs don't invite Warriors because streamers said Warrior is garbage. Yeah. I've seen people playing on the PTR. Its AoE isn't like... It wasn't like Enhancement Shaman or anything. The thing that makes Fury like really good is its single target right now. Not necessarily the AoE. So if you're talking about like Mythic Plus, it's like okay, but in raid it was looking like pretty insane when it came to just like straight up single target damage. You can have no utility if you're like 20% ahead of everyone else in single target. But that was before this change. But this is like pretty big, right? You got Moral Strike damage increase, Overpower increase, Execute increase. This is all arms. Yeah, these talents apparently you don't play, but even if it goes live without nerfs, it's still busted for a single target. Here, let's sim dev again with these changes. It should just be like around 3.5 to 3.8% buff, but I just want to be sure. Yeah, Frostfire nerf. We'll probably have to wait for these to get pushed, but what was the what was the value it was before? Is it in here? Apply aura. Scaled value 13. That Frostfire nerf for Frost is such bullshit reasoning. Yeah, and it got nerfed by association. These things happen. Actually, hold on. Okay. How much of this damage comes from it? Oh, yeah, so we can probably just say it's like a 3.9% buff. because it seems like only 0.1% of the damage is coming from other stuff. So this is, yeah, so let's add it up. This is 0.3 plus 0.3, so that's 0.6. Yeah, so it's actually 3.4. Or, actually, hold on. Be 4 times 0.994. So 3.97% buff. So it'd be at 2.687 million damage. Is what it should be at. Yeah, I think Frostfire Frost feels better than Spellslinger. These changes could change everything though. If it's worse like damage wise, then that's GG's, right? Make sure I'm not missing anything here. They made it generate less now. That was in a nerf, like, not this nerf, but the nerf before. Wait, where'd my report go? This is Saldor's. I'm gonna make some changes though. Oh, this is for... For Mythic Plus, we need to do raid setting. Generates 4 from orb, down from 6. I thought it was 5. Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. So this is the new dev number. And then I'll show you the new aug number here. Approximately. Yeah. That's higher. Oh, I'll make guides for everything. Okay, sorry, I'm looking something up. I want to try out Frostfire Fire now that they got rid of this Empowered Frost Firebolt. I want to see what the rate of it is. If it feels decent at all. Let's swap over. All right. Well, let's actually get out of here. I want to be a little bit more secluded. Okay. Wait, I just got Empowered Frost Firebolt from that. Maybe this change isn't in yet. Because I'm still getting Frostfire Empowerment. Oh, I didn't get one there. Oh, it was already up though. Maybe that's normal. Yeah, we got one there too. How much you guys want to bet that the reason why they changed this, like the true reason, is because they don't want to fix the bug of you not getting procs if you're already in combustion? Did they say this change is coming soon, or did they say the changes already happened? Because it's still working the way it did before. Like, it still gives it. No, I just did it. I just showed it. Literally just showed it. It doesn't even work on live if you already have combustion up. This is why we let our SKB like ride a little bit longer. But no, it is still working. It is still working. 5 seconds on Meteor. Let's see. Right here. You won't get it because you're in combustion, right? So wait for the next one. The next one will give it to us. See, we got one there. See that? That was a TA proc. Okay, watch. We're going to get another one here. 3, 2, 1, and we have the buff. See that? Still works. Still works with TA, and it still works with SKB. So this part is live. This is working. It is giving us 5 seconds. But this part isn't live for some reason. Maybe they took too long writing the note. They took too much time writing this out. It's so well worded that they didn't have time to actually implement this change. I think that's what happened. So what does it mean, guys? What does it all mean? What is the meaning of all these changes? Okay, I've been thinking about how I want to say this for a bit. Here's what I'll say on the Evoker change. So, aside from gearing strategies, other utility, the value of buffing like Fury Warriors, for instance, and the hassle of managing who to buff, if you put all those aside and you just like look strictly at the numbers, this change makes it so that Dev is going to be at least on par with Aug, if not slightly better. So if you factor out the negatives, the positives, all the other crap other than just like what the number is, it looks like Dev is, on paper, it looks like it's better. But obviously that's not accounting for, you know, gearing decisions and them being able to buff Fury Warriors, which are overpowered, and like the hassle of doing the AUG stuff and also the utility of doing the AUG stuff. It's all a mix of negatives, positives, nuance, all that shit. But yeah. AUG is not dead. AUG is definitely not dead, but like they're definitely really close. Like you can play Dev. I was saying before that it was like AUG was definitely better than Dev. That's what I was saying before. But after these changes, I don't think that's true anymore. I don't think you can say that Dev is definitely better than AUG, or that AUG is definitely better than Dev. I think it's close enough where you have to like say, well, it depends. Not as clear cut. Best World 94. Thank you for the sub. Welcome. And then for Mage, the impact is, well, Frostfire Frost and Frostfire Fire are going to be nerfed. But this change isn't implemented yet. For some reason. It's not implemented yet. I don't know why. The other stuff is, so right now it's actually a buff. Right now, Frostfire Fire is buffed. But once they actually, like, implement this change, it's going to be nerfed. And aside from that, I guess there isn't much else. I mean, there's a lot of other balancing stuff for other classes, but nothing really relevant to Evoker and Mage, aside from what I just talked about. What do you guys think? You don't get the Comet Storm buff? That thing, yeah, it does absurd amounts of damage. So, like, I do kind of get the buff. Because Frostfire, like, it's kind of like, the damage of Frostfire is kind of, like, wonky. They need to have something that, like, actually gives it damage. Because, like, the hero towns themselves, aside from, like, a couple things, is, like, kind of dog shit. But yeah, it does do a ton of damage. It's funny seeing your Comet Storm do like the most damage. That part's really funny. So like from that perspective, I get it. But like also there has to be like something that Frostfire does that like gives it damage. I think what they're doing maybe is they're trying to like make up for the fact that they're like getting rid of the empowered Frostfire bolts, but we'll see. It could actually end up being like neutral for fire. Because this is pretty big. It fucking pumps. Like, here, let's look. So this was... We'll just do a new one. Actually, with the increased effectiveness, I'm gonna get deep impact too. It may actually be worth it to not do it only in combustion now. It was already pretty close under certain circumstances, and now it might just be better to like do it on cooldown. Let's find our own dummy over here. I do hate that you're bottlenecked by your Phoenix Flame. It actually feels so bad. We'll scorch. We'll cheat a little bit. Can't ignore my Fire Blast though. That would be bad. So if I'm right on the SKB though, I am going to try to get that cast in there. Okay, how much was my... Oh, I think my ignites... Oh yeah, my ignites were spreading. Okay, so... Yeah, ignite damage is a little fraudulent here. But... Dude, Comet Sword does hit like a truck. You know what? I take it back. Maybe Frostfire has a lot of damage already from the other procs. I'm looking at it again. Huh. The Ice Nova did a lot. It's got to be because it's 2-target. There's no way. I need it. It's got to be this one. I'm just tainting my results here. We got to do this again. Yeah, that's more like it. I knew the Ice Nova damage was a little sus. Yeah, the Comet Storm was hitting 2 targets here sometimes too. How bad is the nerf on fire? It's hard to say because they didn't actually implement the nerf part. They only implemented the buff part. I can sim Frostfire fire, but I don't know how much good that's gonna do. Because we need to see like how they actually implement this. So far, it doesn't even seem like they did. We need to see if they actually follow through. We could adjust the coefficient on Comet Storm and show you how much it does right now. But I don't really know how to change the Frostfire empowerment part of it. I'm not equipped to run that sim. Which mage spec is winning right now? Again, it's hard to say because Frostfire Frost was like slightly ahead of everything else. Like very slightly. But they just like nerfed it, but then the nerf didn't actually happen. So like, what the fuck is going on? A lot of uncertainty right now because they said that they're going to nerf it and like part of what they said they nerfed, or like part of the patch notes, the part that was a buff, because they like did a buff and a nerf. The buff part went through, but the nerf part didn't. And so like you'd have to just like make a wild guess. I'm gonna guess it's probably around like a 2%, maybe 1% nerf to Frostfire Frost, which would actually bring it like right in line with Sun Fury Fire. That's my best guess, but guys, it's a guess. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but I think Fire and Arcane are both looking pretty good now. Especially since Frost is getting like a slap on the wrist. Most likely. It could be a bigger nerf, I'm not sure. Super, super hard to tell on things like this. I like to run this in before I make the assessment, but it's hard to know when Blizzard like motions that they're going to do something and then it's a feint like this. Makes it really hard to tell. It is cool. Frost is cool by definition. Yeah. And fire is hot. How did the Fury Warriors get away with this? That's what I want to know. Yeah, you heard me correctly. They may have fixed it in this patch show. Hold on, let's test that. What I think of Enhancement Shaman? Apparently the nerfs are mainly aimed at AoE. All right, let's see if we get Essence Burst from this. We need a spell that we can cast over and over and over again that doesn't give Essence Burst. So I'm going to spec out of something. There, I'm going to spec out a Living Flame. Giving Essence Burst. And I'm going to spam Living Flame on the target, and we'll see if we get Essence Burst. If we do, then that means it still works. We haven't gotten the proc yet. Still waiting. Here's the proc. Yep, still gives it. There it is. That's getting fixed. Why would it get fixed? If anything, this one should get fixed. See, I got no Essence Burst just now. Either one of two things is happening. Either it's supposed to give Essence Burst and Dragon Rage is nerfed. Or is bugged. Or it's not supposed to give Essence Burst and everything but Dragon Rage is bugged. But here's the thing. It used to not give it, but now it does. So what seems more likely? That they added a bug randomly that's positive, or that they removed the negative bug? I don't know. I actually don't have the answer. But given that like this was added later, I feel like it might be more intended just due to the ordering of it. With the change to Hoard the Power, this needs to be a thing. It definitely feels a lot better to have it be this way. But I'm still a little baffled because why does Dragon Rage not give it? That gives me some pause. Gonna head out still? Nice. Played up. Yeah, this is the same bug that's been in the game. It's just a visual bug. I used to use this bug to get screenshots, actually. It'll be updated for the patch. Working on the updates now. But yeah, it'll stay this way until you like move. Do you like Evoker or Mage gameplay more? I like Mage gameplay more now. The animation looks like super weird though at the mouth. Look at that. It looks painful, dude. This is me at the dentist. POV, you're the dentist working on me. Giving me a teeth cleaning. What sorcery is this? Nothing. This is just Devastation Evoker gameplay. Is it looking like Fire Supremacy or Frost keeping up? Fire and Frost good. We don't know what these changes will hold, but it's already really close. I'm planning to play Fire. Okay, guys. It's getting to be late. I think it's time for us to wrap up. We covered everything we wanted to cover today, so ooh, I got some sim stuff done too. Feeling pretty good. I think it's about time to go eat a snack and go hang out. So yeah. Well, yeah, I tried building it and then using it on the last two. It was a loss. It wasn't worth it. Anyways, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. I might be live again tomorrow. We'll see. If you want to know when I'll go live next, just click that follow button. It's the best way to know. Oh my god, my cat just like jumped up, dude. She knows. She's like, it's time. All right. Say bye to everyone, baby kitty.